I'm starting the small trek to Springer Mountain on the Appalachian Approach Trail from Amicalola Falls. I've never done this section of the trail, although I have been to Springer Mountain before, coming from the north on a short section hike there. So looking forward to seeing what the approach trail looks like. All right, here we are, the famous stone arch, ready to get going. All right, so we're going to start at the base of the falls in a moment here. Head up the fall, should be beautiful. Going up, so it's a very steep start to this hike. And now the steps, 175 of them. All right, up the steps we go. 175 steps on the wall, 175 steps. All right, I thought that had to be too few steps for the 175. That's just the first part. Goes by pretty fast. Let's take it one step at a time. All right, I'm not quite there, but I'm getting pretty high up. There's the falls. Heading down. Pretty cool view. Whew. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty hard. I'm almost to the end. Just up here. And there's the end. Whew. All right. Okay, not long after the falls, you go across a little parking area for people who park at the top of the falls, and then you get onto some trail that's more traditional looking. We'll see how far I get tonight. I started pretty darn late. Really only started with about 45 minutes of light left. I've already used a substantial amount of that. So, I don't know. Might be a little night hiking tonight. Trail split here. I'm gonna come out from the Hike Inn tomorrow, which is the one straight behind me. But right now I'm gonna head this way. As you can see behind me, it's getting dark. It's about 6:52 or so. Sunset, I think, was 6:49. I don't think there's supposed to be much moon tonight. So, plan right now is to hike with my headlamp until about 8 o'clock. Load up some water at the next water source so that I can either dry camp or camp at a creek and just go until I feel like stopping. Well, good morning, back on trail. It only took me about 35 minutes to break camp today and get going. Gonna head up to Springer Mountain today. It's pretty cold. Well, it's not that cold. It's in the mid-40s, but it's windy. So my hands are cold right now. Just enjoy this beautiful morning on the Appalachian Trail. Just past Nimmo Gap. I'm here at the site of a plane crash in the 60s. Gonna head up this bald here. It's a little steeper than it looks in the video. That'll warm me up a little bit. Water. Gotta love it. Fresh from a spring just before Black Rock Gap. So now I'm a little past Black Rock Gap and I'm going to head up to Springer Mountain. It's mostly going to be climbing from here. I think I'm going to change out of this warm gear. Yeah, I should say a little more about that water. So I came in with 0.7 liters on me from Amicalola Falls. Didn't fill up at the beginning because there's supposed to be plenty of water on the AT, which in general there is. But we're in a season, it's been dry for a couple of weeks where the intermittent sources aren't really going, so late last night I was night hiking a little bit to get a little further since I had a late start, and I ended up finding this water source on the map. That was just a very short walk down a forest road, but it was just kind of a mush of leaves. So because of that, I didn't have any water to cook, and I ended up just eating a yogurt that I brought. I'm glad I brought that because that had a bunch of water in it, and a piece of string cheese, and some banana chips and some almonds. And that was all great. I got a few hundred calories in me, but I am kind of hungry and I really needed water this morning. So it was about maybe a mile or so to the next water source where I was able to fill up this morning and drank a 1.5 liters at that source. And now what I'm going to do is make breakfast up at Springer with the water I got on me after I left that source, and then I'll probably on the way back fill up some more and cook that dinner I had for a late lunch. Foggy up here. Got a few raindrops coming down. It's not like it's raining, it's just like individual drops, but they're big. All right, well, needless to say, I love it out here. This is the first white blaze on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm at the marker for the official start. All right, breakfast on Springer isn't quite what I expected. I'm under this rock right here. It's spitting a little bit with that rain coming out of this cloud. But that should blow over quickly. I've got my little pot there, got a little oatmeal in the bag, and I'm gonna enjoy that before I head back. All right, one last view from Springer. Still super foggy, and let's get walking. Kinda cool. It's in the video, but the fog is just blowing through behind me. Hopefully this will blow through and we'll get some sunshine. It's predicted for this afternoon, but it's only about 10:30 right now. The trail is fabulous. It's really well maintained, of course, with so many hikers on it. And I'm doing the easy part now coming down, so a lot of fun. Fog is mostly gone. There's still a little bit up ahead of me, but we're starting to get warmer. Should be perfect hiking weather when it burns off. It's supposed to be like low 60s and clear, mainly sunny. Okay, hike in 1 mile. This will add 1.7 miles onto my trip. This is really the only part of the trail that I've had foliage on. Kind of a rhododendron forest coming down to the hike in. It's very pretty with the dappled sunlight. All right, here we are. I don't know if you can see this, but there are a bunch of vultures circling around here, riding the thermal currents. All right, done with lunch. Let's get walking. Head back to Amicalola Falls. Goodbye, hike in. Looks like 5 miles to the park. Mostly downhill, should be quite easy. It's 1:15. I expect I'll be there by 3. There's a lot more water on the Len Foote Hike Inn trail than there is on the Appalachian Approach Trail, that's for sure. I gotta tell you what the gear I'm liking today is, and that is this Goodnight 1/8 inch thick Eva's foam pad from Mountain Laurel Designs. So this is, I think, a 20 inch by 40 inch piece. Laying down, napping on it right now. I used it at breakfast to sit on in the cold, when it was cold in the morning. It serves as kind of a porch to keep some of the dirt out of my tent. It also can hold my sleeping pad in place. Super versatile, super light. I think it was 1 5/8 of an ounce or something like that for a 20 by 40 sheet. And yeah, comfy for napping. All right, so this is actually the peak weekend, they said, for people starting the AT. It's also a beautiful weekend, so there's people all over. You can see some picnics behind me. There's a whole bunch of people at the bridge here. And I'm gonna walk down the falls and be all done. Appalachian Approach Trail, done. Loved it out here.